Show me.
Hello, everybody. Marcel's Film Freak here. We are back doing some tier ranking. It is September, or as we are calling it in the Kung Fu cinema community, Shaw-tember. So I have the only person I can trust to help me with one of these, especially because it's a Shaw movies, and that is not my area of expertise. I've got Sean back to talk about Gordon Liu. Sean, how are you?
Good evening, sir. I'm very well. I'm good. I'm ready to tackle Gordon Liu's filmography, or most of his filmography.
Are you excited to talk about your wife's favorite actor?
I am, yes. She was actually eager. She heard that I was doing this, and she wanted to have her opinion stated that obviously Gordon Liu is a firm favorite of hers.
Is she going to pop in here for one or two?
I don't know. I could call her in, but we'll see. Maybe I'll yell to her and see if she has any opinions.
We'll see if we need a third opinion on something.
Exactly.
Let's go ahead and get into ranking the films of Gordon Liu.
Awesome.
All right, so this time around, from top to bottom, our top here is called Master Killer, because I just thought it sounded cool. The A tier, sort of just as, still great, just not the top tier. Shaw-tacular. The middle, it's good enough. It's Shaw enough. The C tier here, I've got just, it's pretty basic. Meh or haven't seen it. This is where it's going to be the meh or we haven't seen it. And then the bottom here, just because it's funny, it's Dirty Ho.
I can see you already have 2 Dirty Hoes in your movie list.
Yeah, that was, I didn't know how that happened. It was an accident.
It's all good.
So these are also somehow in, no, well, maybe. I was going to say they're almost in chronological order, which they're not supposed to be. I just kind of hit shuffle on them, and that's how it turned out.
Yeah, some of them definitely are. Yeah.
Yeah. We will start here with the 36 Chamber of Shaolin, possibly one of the most famous Shaw Brothers movies of all time.
Possibly the most famous Shaw Brothers movie of all time, especially with non-Shaw Brothers fans, I suppose. I mean, can you say anything other than it has to be Master Killer tier? It's a definitive classic. It almost defines a genre, and it's a damn good kung fu film.
I will say my only gripe with it is I don't know if I remember too much past him leaving the temple. And I know that's where even like the big final fight is.
Yeah.
But so much of the movie feels like it feels so right in the temple that once he leaves, it's almost like, oh, what else do we have to do?
I'd agree. I think the final fight sequence really isn't the highlight of the film, which is interesting because for a lot of Shaw Brothers films, the final fight is usually legendary. But yeah, I think most people remember it for Gordon Liu against Li Hoi Sang when they're practicing with the weapons. Yeah, I understand. I think it definitely, if people have gripes with the ending, which I understand absolutely, I don't think it tarnishes it enough. And I think it's too iconic to give anything less.
Yeah, that was really just me trying to find anything negative to say about it. Master Killer, of course, is Master Killer. 36 Chamber of Shaolin going up top there. We then go to the sequel, Return to the 36 Chamber. This was possibly my first Shaw Brothers movie I ever watched.
Oh, really? You watched the sequel first?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I just found it at Walmart and I bought it and I watched it. Yeah, I didn't know what I was getting into, and I don't know if I like it that much.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I definitely don't think it's as good as the original. I am a big fan of it. I do think it's good. I think the charm somewhat wears off with the second one. It doesn't quite have the same charm as the first one. But I do like it. I do like it a lot. I think I would call it a classic, certainly. But I would understand not putting it in the Master Killer tier.
Well, would you throw it in Master Killer?
Do you know what? I would probably go Shortacular.
Yeah, I mean, I do fairly enjoy it now that I've seen it. I've seen it twice now, but I remember the first time I watched it, not knowing what I was getting into, I didn't care for it. I remember there's in the beginning when he's like he's sort of acting like he's this crazy monk.
Yeah.
He gets lowered down from a tree, and I wasn't paying enough attention to realize that was like supposed to be like playful or like.
Oh.
So you see the wire.
Yes.
And I was like, am I supposed to see the wire right now? But in the context of the movie, you are supposed to see the wire there. But I was just so thrown off. I was like, is this just really badly made, or am I not supposed to see it?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't remember an awful lot. I don't think I even remember the first half of this film very well. But from what I do remember, I do enjoy. I like the whole scaffolding shtick.
I do enjoy some of the. It's fun when someone. I mean, it's Karate Kid. It's fun when someone doesn't know that. Well, I guess he knows that he's training. He sees them down below as he's working on the scaffolding around the temple. And he makeshifts his own versions of that while he's building. Yeah. I did enjoy all that.
Yeah, it's a solid gimmick, but maybe not a true classic.
Yeah, but it's still worth watching. This one though is going to be all you because I have never seen Disciples of the 36th Chamber.
Really? It's definitely well worth a watch. Although a lot of people do kind of dismiss this one quite a bit. It's definitely the weakest of the three films, and it does rely far more on comedy than the other two, and I think that's where most people get a bit upset. But I actually like it. I like it quite a lot. I think Xiao Ho is amazing in it, as he is in everything. I mean, I think we're going to see him at least once more in this list, and he's remarkable. I think he's maybe we're not going to see him in this list, actually. He's a fantastic acrobat, and he's great in this film. However, it does not compare to the first two. It is the weakest. Is it a solid Shaw Brothers film? Yes, it is. Do I look forward to watching it again when Shaw Scope Volume 2 comes out? Absolutely. But it would be sure enough for me.
It's crazy that you said it relies far more on comedy when I feel like the second one really relies on comedy.
Oh, wait till you see the third one. The third one really ramps it up.
I feel like I probably saw it like available to watch on YouTube, so I'll probably try to watch it soon. But it is going. And sure enough, we are then moving on to the. I can't hide my love for this movie. It's the 8-Diagram Pole Fighter. I know. Do you have a bit of a lesser opinion on this film?
I do. I don't love it as much as most people, but that's for a very, very specific reason, and that is the final fight. The final fight scene is, and this might just be a weird gripe of mine, it's too chaotic. There's too much going on. It's great. It's choreographed amazingly, and it's the way it's staged is fantastic with the pyramid of coffins. I love all that, but it's too, I don't know, it's too chaotic, and I prefer if it was just, for example, I'll say this: the finest fight scene in the film is Philip Coe against Gordon Liu.
Yeah,
that's the greatest fight scene in the film, and it's also one of the greatest weapons fights ever filmed. I couldn't possibly say this is anything other than Master Killer, but I don't typically like it as much as most. It's your favorite Shaw Brothers film, isn't it?
It's maybe my favorite Shaw Brothers film. And, and like whenever you're going to like your number one of anything, it's always going to change every now and again. Yeah, but it's like I'm probably often going to go to 8-Diagram Pole Fighter.
I think you're in good company. I think most people feel the same.
It's going to be 2 weeks in a row of me stressing this, but that line at the end of the movie. In that final fight, you're right, it is a lot going on, but when he asked the abbot, why are you doing this, why are you helping, you said you don't kill or whatever, and when the abbot says we're not doing that, we're driving away wolves, I popped so hard. It's such a good line.
Yeah it's there's so many good elements in this film. I mean, everything. My wife is making the most noise. I do apologize. So I think it's an amazing film, and it's got a lot of elements that really make it a standout Shaw Brothers film. I love that Lau Kar Lung's in the beginning. I love that he's not initially welcomed into Shaolin, like most Shaolin films, I suppose. He's not welcome into Shaolin, and then it's got the training, and then it's got like the unique end fight scene. Although I don't love it as much as most, it's very unique, and I just think as a standalone film by itself, it's easily one of. It might not be my favorite, but it is one of the best. I will say that.
I love it a lot.
Yeah.
We are then going to the next one where we obviously just know where it's gonna go already, and that is Heroes of the East.
Yeah, if you want to talk about the greatest Shaw Brothers movie of all time, I think this has to be in the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
This may be my favorite Gordon Liu film. I think it's absolutely incredible. I love its simplicity. It's very, very simple. It's basically just a string of fight scenes put together or strung together with a very, very simple but very good plot. Yasuaki Karata.
This is like it's like talking about like it's like in my brain right now. I'm comparing it to like the Raid and the Raid 2 of being like the Raid 2. Like if 8 Diagram Pole Fighter is the Raid 2, and where for me overall it's a better movie.
Yeah.
But the Raid has like better fight scenes or like more just it's more fun.
No, absolutely. I understand that comparison. That makes perfect sense. Everything in this film works for me. I just think, and it's the fact that every fight scene is different and it's got a different weapon or a different style, and that finale is just it's magical. And it's Gordon Liu with hair. I mean, come on now.
It's very rare.
Yeah, it is. You don't often see it.
So I'm guessing we're just both agreeing with Master Killer here. Heroes of the East. It's just fantastic. Yeah. Have you ever seen Fury in Shaolin Temple?
Yes, I have. A long time ago, and from what I recall, I don't think this one is. It doesn't have much to talk about, really. I think
you are completely correct.
Oh yeah, you've seen it recently.
So you texted me that list. So for people watching, I requested Sean make a list because he knows far more on Shaw Brothers and Gordon Liu than I do. So I requested him make a list. I didn't remember that you put this on the list. So when I just found it online, I was like, I'm going to surprise Sean and be like, oh, I got one you haven't seen before. And then I looked back at the list and I saw it was there and I got sad. But I did watch it. And yeah, no, it's not a lot happens. It's kind of an intriguing plot, but just overall, it's nothing. Like, I think you could be a Gordon Liu fan and you could never see Fury in Shaolin Temple and be completely fine.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it just hasn't stuck in my brain whatsoever. I know I've seen it. I couldn't tell you like what happens in it. At least I don't think I have.
Have you seen, I'm sure you have, you've seen 18 Bronze Men, right?
Oh, wait. Yes, I have, actually. Yeah, go ahead with what you're saying.
I have not seen 18 Bronze Men. I can't remember. I thought it was going to be in like the Shawscope Volume 2 or something. But in 18 Bronze Men, when they're fighting anybody, does the paint rub off?
No.
It's hilarious in this movie. Him and the other guy. So apparently Philip Coe is in this movie, and I didn't recognize anybody else. I didn't even recognize Philip Coe in this movie. So him and the dude it's pretty much his partner in crime in this. They're fighting the 18 Bronze Men, which like half of them are gold, half of them are silver. And the whole time, paint was just clearly rubbing off because it's like it's all over like Gordon Liu's hands and the other guy. I'm like, I don't know what y'all did differently, but something's not working.
I think 18 Bronze Men is in the Cinema of Vengeance pack because it's not a Shaw Brothers film.
It may be. That may be why I was thinking I had it somehow.
Yeah. And I'm going to drop a bombshell. I just realized Fury in the Shaolin Temple, I watched it last week. I got this confused with Raiders of the Buddhist Temple. Okay. I got it confused. So I did watch this one. And I will say this. I actually thought the action was very, very good.
Really?
I thought everything else was just nonsense. The plot didn't even make any sense whatsoever.
I didn't say it made sense. I said it was intriguing.
Oh no, absolutely, it was intriguing. I think there was a lot going on in this film. There's a lot of like intricacies and lots of characters, and there's different like goals and paths that the characters are on. I think it's definitely an intriguing plot. I did like the action. I think is it a Godfrey Ho film? I think this is a Godfrey Ho film. And I think if you wanted a lower tier Gordon Liu film that you might just enjoy, just throw on enjoy on a lazy Sunday, you could watch this. I agree with you. People can go their lives without seeing it. It's not an important film.
I agree. I was annoyed at one point because like one guy like starts doing like eagle drunken eagle or
Oh
something, and the other guy
God,
starts doing
yeah.
drunken mantis, and
That's
I was
awful.
like, oh, this could be awesome, and then
Yeah.
nothing happened.
Yeah, I remember. I actually posted that scene on Instagram because I thought it was just very questionable.
Yeah, it could have been good, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Next up here, we've got the namesake of the bottom category, but that doesn't mean it has to go there. We've got Dirty Ho.
Now, this is an interesting one because if you would have asked me 2 years ago what is the greatest Shaw Brothers film, I would have said it was Dirty Ho. It was easily my favorite for the longest time, but I watched it recently on the Shawscope Volume 1 set, and it's not quite as good as I remember. Don't get me wrong, I think it's a fantastic film. I just happen to think it has problems.
Yeah, it was fun. I watched it about 4 or 5 days ago for the first time from the Shawscope pack. I didn't know what to expect. I'd always heard you talk about how it's like it's mostly really, really goofy, and I ended up not actually feeling like it was too goofy. Like I watched Legendary Weapons of China 2 days ago, and I'm like, oh, this is far goofier. But I mean, the one fight scene I really did like, and it's not even a fight scene, it is like sort of a comedy scene, is when the Ho breaks into Gordon Liu's home, and he has Kara Hui there, and he tells him that Kara Hui is this like crazy assassin.
Yeah.
And then he starts like puppeting her. He starts, he hits her arm, she moves, hits the other arm, move. And it's like a 5-minute fight scene of him puppeting her. And it's maybe it's from what I've seen, it's the best example of that. Like, because I've seen that in a few different movies, and I think the way it's done in that scene is really, really good.
Yeah, I think it's great. It's certainly better than Jet Li and Aaliyah in Romeo Must Die. I will say that Dirty Ho it actually has one of my favorite all-time fight scenes in it, and that's the wine tasting fight scene. Because I love a fight scene where the two people are pretending that they're not fighting. I love that. It's one of my favorite fight gimmicks, and I love that one. The only issue, I think this film is very, very hard for fledgling kung fu fans to really get into. I think it is weird and goofy enough to deter people, maybe, especially the fight scene with the what are they called, the seven guy, like the guy with the teapot who pours the water, and the guy who tries to bite him. I think at that point it gets a little strange, and maybe Lau Kar Leung kind of ran away with himself a little bit. But I will say that this is definitely top tier Shaw Brothers. I just might not consider it my favorite anymore.
Yeah, and I think the guy trying to bite him was that Cheng Shang? In one of the fights, he's fighting Wang Lung Wei and Chang Shang.
Chang Shang?
Yeah, the Baby Venom.
He's in that?
Pretty sure. I was like looking at him the whole time. I'm like, that's a Venom.
I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't even remember. But yeah, maybe. I don't know.
So where do you think you would put because this one is maybe one of the more difficult ones for me on. I don't know if is it kind of mid? Is it just barely shawtacular? I don't know.
I think it's shawtacular. I think I definitely put it as shawtacular. Yeah, I think it's unquestionably a great. It's just, I don't know. I guess it just didn't hit me like it did in prior years. Maybe I need to watch it again. But there's no doubt that it's an absolute classic of the genre. I love it, and I hope to do it for my podcast at some point.
So we'll go shawtacular there. We'll leave this here because that was an accident, and we will go over to Martial Club. Which, if you would have asked me before I ever saw Eastern Heroes or a Diagram, I would have told you this is my favorite Shaw Brothers movie.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really argue. It's a fantastic film. I think people remember it simply for the end fight, whereas the whole film is actually very, very good. This is kind of a strong point for me, that it has lion dancing that doesn't put me to sleep, which is good because I'm not a big fan of lion dancing in films. It's fantastic. Lau Kar Leung, just one of his greatest final fight scenes. Robert Mack is great in it. Is it Robert Mack or Robert Tack?
I do not know.
Oh my god, I can't remember if I forgot his name. Maybe it's Robert Tack, and I'm thinking of Max.
Is he the best friend that gets his ass kicked?
Yes. He's awesome in it. Just a great film all round. Wang Lung Wei is an absolute beast as always. The good question though is I guess it is better than Dirty Ho. Yeah, I guess I'd put this in Master Killer.
Would you put it in Master Killer? I mean, I need to rewatch it again soon because
Yeah.
I mean, even though I remember thoroughly enjoying the entire movie. However, the only thing that is truly stuck in my brain is the final fight scene.
Yeah, that's
and that the best friend loves hookers.
Oh yes, he certainly does.
Yes, he really loves that brothel.
I think the whole film is consistently good. I think maybe people might be disappointed that it's a little slower than other kung fu films. It maybe doesn't have as many fight scenes as people might hope. But still, yeah, I think all-time classic Master Killer.
It is. I was taken aback by the ending where, spoiler alert for people who haven't seen it, like Gordon Liu doesn't win. But the final fight was never about like most, heroic bloodshed kind of things. It's not about killing the bad guy or whatever. But even though he doesn't win, like, doesn't he like the bad guy like tells like his teacher or something like, this dude's your best guy. This guy's amazing. Basically,
yeah, there's this great kind of showing of mutual respect at the end, which is very rare because it's also technically Wang Longwei isn't a villain in it.
Yeah, I mean, no, he's not.
He is the antagonist, I suppose, but he's not an actual villain, which is great because he needs to be not a good guy, but he needs to not be a villain every now and again.
But I love it. We will move on to Clan of the White Lotus.
Okay, I don't know if we're gonna not see eye to eye on this one because I'll be honest, I watched this one earlier this year. And this might be my favorite Shaw Brothers film. I absolutely adore this film.
This is one where I am a bit on the fence. I could see this from what I know of your taste. This does feel right up your alley. I do enjoy the final fight. I enjoy the acupuncture needles and all that. What is like the training and all that in this one?
It's the sewing needles, and he's doing the sewing kung fu with Kara Hui.
That is right. I think this is a case because I think what had happened is I watched this one first, and I watched Executioners of Shaolin second. So in my brain, I forget which one is the second one, but I think I liked Executioners of Shaolin more.
That's interesting. I love Executioners from Shaolin. I think they're two very different films, even though they're actually quite similar. But they're different. I feel like they're different tonally. I like Clan of the White Lotus because I think it's more cartoony. And I like that about it. It's not goofy and it's not too stupid or silly, but it's a lot more, I don't know, light and kind of, it winks at the audience a little bit in that it knows its silliness, I feel. And Lole, I mean, I'm shocked that Lole directed Clan of the White Lotus. It feels like a Lau Kar Lung film.
Yeah, that's always it's always a little weird to go from like the partners of director and star, and just whenever you find a movie that is kind of it's looked at as an actor's like one of their top films, and then you're like, oh, that's actually wasn't even directed by this guy. I don't know. It's like finding a De Niro movie and being like, oh wait, like Scorsese did not direct this.
Yeah, I have a feeling Lau Kar Lung Ghost directed this one, or at least had a big hand in what happened in it. But I love it. I love, well, he's not technically Pai Mei, is he, in this one? I mean, I'll call it Pai Mei. I love him. I love Lole in it. I love the two henchmen that are clad in white. I think one of those is Xiao Ho. I don't know who the other one is. I can't remember. But just, great fight sequences, all round, very light-hearted, kind of cartoony comic book style kung fu film. I'm a big fan, but I will defer to you as to where you want to put it.
I do think it's great. I didn't love it. I mean, I'm gonna put it in Shawtacular, but it's gonna be like the top of Shawtacular.
That's fine. I will take that. I do understand that a lot of people do not love it as much as I do.
We are now going into a large section where I'm going to rely on you for a lot of this, because I have not seen a majority of these. This next one here with Alexander Fu Sheng is Treasure Hunters.
Yeah, Treasure Hunters, unfortunately, is not really the greatest Alexander Fu Sheng film. It took me a while to warm up to Fu Sheng, and I think this film was one of the reasons why I didn't warm up to him very much. It's very much a comedy, a very again, goofy comedy. Got some decent fight scenes in it. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I don't recall being a huge fan of it. And it's not really a film that I'm eager to watch again. I don't think Gordon Liu really stands out that much in it, considering it is a Fusheng vehicle. But I don't think it's offensive enough to really put on the lowest tier. I still think it's quite a good film. So I would probably put it meh, to be honest. I'm tempted to put it in sure enough, but the way I remember it, I would put it in meh, because I remember even some of the fight scenes. There's a fight scene where there's like wooden dummies, and Alexander Fusheng is using the dummies against his opponent, and I remember that just not working for me. So yeah,
Fusheng baffles me, because if you'd have shown me first, which I guess my first Fusheng movie was Avenging Eagle. I'd have been like, oh, Fusheng is fine. If you'd have shown me, what is it, Disciples of Shaolin? Is it Disciples of Shaolin I got up there? Yes, Disciples of Shaolin. If you'd have shown me just that, I'd have been like, I don't like Fusheng, which I think you like that movie.
Disciples of Shaolin is solid, yeah.
But then you go to something like Heroes 2 or Chinatown Kid, and then I'm like, oh, Fusheng is great. So he's just, apparently for me, he's just very hit and miss.
There are people that swear by Fusheng as being like the greatest Shaw Brothers leading man, and I didn't see it for the longest time. I didn't get it, but I watched the Chinatown Kid for the first time from the Shaw Scope set, and I loved it. And I finally got it. I understood why people liked him, and then I watched which one is he in? Is it Opium and the Kung Fu Master that he's in? I can't even remember now. I'm getting my films mixed up. Or is it Deadly Breaking Sword? He's in the Deadly Breaking Sword, and I loved him in that as well. And I've warmed to him. And to be honest, I would love to see Treasure Hunters again. I'm hoping it gets a release on a maybe Shaw Brothers Shaw Scope Volume 3, perhaps. But yeah, for now, I would say meh.
I was gonna say meh on this one. All right, continuing with your thoughts here, we are going to Shaolin versus Wu-Tang, or Shaolin and Wu-Tang.
The greatest Shaw Brothers film that isn't a Shaw Brothers film, as they say. Just amazing. I mean, it's obviously ghost directed by Lau Kar-leung. People say it's directed by Gordon Liu, but it's got Lau Kar-leung all over it, and it feels like one of his films. Adam Cheng definitely deserves all the love that he gets and more. He is, in my opinion, the greatest swordsman that has ever graced the silver screen, or the small screen as well. I just think he's incredible. This film's amazing. It's got everything you want. I mean, it's got Wang Long Wei, it's got classic, if you watch the dub, it's got the classic, allow me to demonstrate this. Oh no, that's not. That's 10 Tigers from Kwantung. Sorry, I got that wrong. But it's got some, On Guard, I'll let you try my Wu-Tang style.
I know that quote.
Oh, it's either that one or, wait, allow me to demonstrate the skill of Shaolin. No, that's Shaolin versus Lama. I'm getting everything wrong. But I know it's got some, a sword fight is like a game of chess. You must think first before you move. That's from Shaolin and Wu-Tang. It's just a really, really good film. And I absolutely recommend that everyone watch it. Even though the widely available versions that are out there right now are not very impressive. They are full screen and just terrible dubs and terrible picture quality. There is a very, 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 very good version of it out there going around. If you know what I'm saying, if you know the right people, you can get your hands on a very nice looking version of a widescreen copy of Shaolin and Wu-Tang. And excellent film. I would definitely put it, I would put it Master Killer, to be honest.
Surprised me there. I don't know that one, and now it sounds like it's a must.
Oh, you must see it. Honestly, you must see it. I think you'll be a huge fan of it. It's fantastic.
It is going to go on my very long list. Next up is Raiders of Buddhist Kung Fu.
Right. This is the one that I got confused with, that I thought was Fury in Shaolin Temple. This one, I can't tell you much about. I know for a fact I've seen it. but I would probably put it in the haven't seen it category because I literally haven't seen it in years. I think it's available to watch on like YouTube or something, but I just never got around to it.
Gotcha.
Not recently, anyway. I haven't watched it since the VHS days, is what I'm trying to say.
Shaolin Drunken Monk.
You haven't seen this one?
No, I've not seen this one.
It's fine. It's an okay little independent non-Shaw Brothers film. It's nowhere near the epicness of his Shaw Brothers films, or even close to Shaolin versus Wu-Tang or Shaolin and Wu-Tang. I like it. It's cool. It's got a great final fight sequence. And I think it deserves to be in Shaw Nuff.
Shaw Nuff.
Yeah, I don't think I would put it much higher than that. I think the fight scenes are good, and I think the rest of the film is kind of like, sure, okay, it's fine.
Next up, we've got, so this one is from what I can tell, a freaking blanking on his name now, Chow Yun-Fat film. But from like everything I've ever known about this movie, which is the chainsaw fight scene.
Yeah.
Gordon Liu, from what I can tell, has the best fight scene in the movie. So I included it. What are your thoughts? I have not seen it on Tiger on Beat.
Yeah, so I think I've just bought it somewhere around here, I think. I think I got it on Blu-ray recently. But it's a great film. It's really, really good. Very interesting departure for Gordon Liu playing the villain. And it's a Chow Yun-Fat Conan Lee film. Some people love Conan Lee. Some people don't love Conan Lee.
I've only ever seen one movie with Conan Lee.
Yeah, I mean, most people haven't seen a lot of his films. I don't think he's been in a lot of films. You've probably seen Lethal Weapon 4, though. He's in that.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say Dungeons the Dragon's Den.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And he's amazing in that. Apparently, he's not a very nice person in real life.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah. Tiger on the Beat is a must-see classic as far as modern Hong Kong films goes. It's not a flat-out martial arts film, though it has plenty of martial arts in it. Chainsaw fight is amazing. Gordon Liu is fine in it. I mean, he's awesome when wielding a chainsaw, but he doesn't do much else. But it's awesome. It's a great film, and I really, really hope we get to see a US Blu-ray release of it at some point. I think I have the German Blu-ray.
I've got a feeling like if of the long list of films that are potentially coming, I feel like that one's pretty high.
Me too. I think oftentimes when Germany put films out, I think these UK companies like 88 Films and Eureka, they kind of, I don't know, they put the feelers out and maybe go towards the same titles. This is definitely shortacular in my eyes. I think there's an argument that it could be Master Killer, but I don't love it that much.
Would you say that Gordon Liu in this movie is like, is it Philip Kwok in Hard Boiled?
Yeah, similar. Yeah.
The next one here is one that I can pitch in on, and it's the last one I'm going to be able to pitch in on. Well, I guess Kill Bill Volume 2 I can talk about. Legendary Weapons of China.
All right, go on, hit me with it, because I think we might have conflicting opinions on this.
So me and you for a while have been on some sort of agreement on just this movie's a little bit much sometimes. I watched it 2-3 days ago. I finished it for the first time about 2 or 3 days ago. I'd always seen parts, or I'd seen the beginning and not finished it. I love the ending.
Everyone does.
There's some stuff to enjoy throughout it, but I mean, I probably won't. I wouldn't recommend it to most people, probably.
Okay. I'm with you in that for the longest time, I very much disliked this film. Didn't care for it at all. Growing up, watching Kung Fu films, this one was very low on my list of films I enjoyed. I didn't revisit it often, if at all. And then I wasn't even going to buy the 88 Films release. And just for some weird reason, I just bought it on a whim one day. And I rewatched it about a month ago. And I don't know whether I've just matured or things have changed. But in my opinion, this film, I gave it 5 stars. I honestly think, and this might be blasphemy, I think I prefer it to 8 Diagram Pole Fighter. I absolutely love it. It just worked for me. Everything worked. The goofiness, the complexity of what was going on. I don't know why. It just worked. And then of course that final fight scene is one of the best.
I will say, I don't know if you can tell from my demeanor, I am very much on a ledge here of like here's the line of like good trash, and I'm just barely over here.
Yeah.
Like I can definitely be swayed and pushed over.
To what? Sure enough.
I mean, to whatever you're feeling. I'm not saying I don't think it was totally trash. It wasn't Dirty Ho.
Yes.
I didn't fully buy into it 110%.
All right. Well, I guess we need to meet in the middle, because I personally would put it Master Killer, but if you would put it Sure Enough,
I could definitely edge into Shawtacular. Like I fully could, mostly just because I fully understand upon watching it.
Yeah.
The high opinions that many people have.
That's like me with 8 Diagram Pole Fighter. I understand 100% why people love it. It just doesn't hit that sweet spot for me.
Right. So I'm willing to throw it into like the top of Shawtacular here.
Okay, there we go. That works.
This next one I feel silly for not having seen, and that is Drunken Monkey. And the reason I feel silly is because this is a movie that I have always been able to find at a store.
Yeah.
But I just always thought, I hear it's not very good, doesn't look very good, I just won't buy it. And now that I actually went out looking for it after I messaged you that this is what we were doing, I couldn't freaking find it.
Yeah, you don't need to. Leave it on the shelf.
Really?
It's not a great film. I mean, it warrants a rewatch from me, because I haven't seen it since just years ago. It's been probably around when it came out. Is when I watched it last, and I remember just being super underwhelmed by it. The fact that it's like Lau Kar-leung and Wu Jing and Gordon Liu makes an appearance, it's really not that good. It's silly. The fight scenes aren't nearly as good as you'd hope, especially with Lau Kar-leung coming off the back of Drunken Master 2. And you'd think that maybe he would go ahead and make something spectacular, and just this isn't it. I don't hate it enough to put it in Dirty Ho. I think it does have some redeeming qualities. I think some of the action is okay, but I wouldn't put it above meh.
Gotcha. I'm going to throw this in meh, and then I'm going to end this meeting and start another one, because I think it's about to cut us off here.
Oh, okay.
So Drunken Monkey is going in meh. All right, so we are back. And by that, I mean, nothing really happened. And what was just probably about 10 minutes for us was nothing for you. So we are going to move on. We just put Drunken Monkey in meh, haven't seen it, which for meh. But we are moving on to Kill Bill Volume 2.
Yeah. Interesting film, really, because it's so different from all the others. I mean, it's not a typical Gordon Liu film, that's for sure. But he is incredible in it. You like the Kill Bills? Oh, sorry, no, you don't like the Kill Bills less than me, but you do have your qualms with Kill Bills.
I don't think my problem really is with Kill Bill. I think that my problem is with the perception of Kill Bill.
Okay, that's fine. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and do you do the Talking Swords podcast along with your podcast Food for Thought?
I do.
Do you do that with Flip?
Yep.
Yeah, so in our group chat for the Asian Cinema Circle, he will not stop giving me shit.
He told me.
He does it about once a fucking week.
Yeah, he let me know that he likes to give you some. He actually told me to make fun of you a little bit on this particular recording, but I'm holding back.
Yeah. So that is the situation that I live with right now. But I mean, I do enjoy all of the training in Kill Bill Volume 2. I enjoy all of his scenes. We also, for him playing pretty much Pai Mei, we could have also thrown in like True Legend in here, but probably not.
Yeah.
He's pretty much playing the same character. I enjoy all of his segments. I think he's great. What do you think?
I mean, I love both Kill Bill films. I think they're incredible. They're up there still as some of Tarantino's best. All right, if we're judging it strictly as a kung fu film, maybe it wouldn't be as high as some of the classics. But as a film, I mean, I can't argue with Kill Bill. It's it's a modern classic, and it is a perfect homage to Asian cinema. And I don't think anyone in the Western world has done it better or will do it better. So
I think that Kill Bill Volume 1 is far more, because it has Sonny Chiba, of course. Kill Bill Volume 1 leans far more to the Tarantino's love of samurai films, whereas Kill Bill Volume 2 leans more into his love of kung fu films.
Yeah, 2 has a lot going for it, or a lot going on in terms of homages. It's got the kung fu element, but then there's a whole other aspect of it, which, you know, it stands on its own 2 feet. I think it gets all the high praise from me, and I think it's deserving of that praise. Yeah, I mean, I can't say much other than I love it. I think it's great. In fact, I need to rewatch it.
So you're thinking Master Killer. I'm cool with Master Killer if you're cool with Master Killer.
I am. Yeah. I hope to one day. Oh no, that's the first one. I was going to say I hope to one day get hold of the Whole Bloody Affair. But that's the uncut version of Kill Bill Volume 1. But I haven't got my hands on it yet. But yeah, Master Killer.
So we will move this up to Master Killer, and hopefully with this final film, this will not end with a dud. And that is Fist and Guts, another one that I have never seen.
Well, I got bad news for you.
You never seen it?
No, I watched it like 2 days ago, and it is in Dirty Ho for sure.
Dirty Ho, it's terrible. Yeah. You know what? I like that. It's better to end one with something that's either amazing or totally trash.
Yeah.
What about it is Dirty Ho?
So some people may argue that it's a solid little like independent kung fu film. It's not. It is an absolute chore to sit through. The comedy in it is terrible. The fact that it's got Lau Kar-wing, Lee Hoi-sang, and Gordon Liu, and Lo Lei in it. And Lau Kar-wing decided to make it pretty much a comedy with a few fight scenes here and there. The fight scenes aren't even that good until you get to the amazing finale between Gordon Liu and Lo Lei, which it has Gordon Liu using a 3-section chain whip, and it's awesome. But everything leading up to that, I think, is garbage. I really struggled to sit through this one. Not a good film, and definitely, I hope no one chooses this one to put it out as some kind of remaster on Blu-ray. It doesn't deserve it. It's trash.
Well, at least I know that if anyone does decide, which I guess, well, is it a Shaw Brothers movie?
No.
So I guess that technically means it's open to 88 Films to release it, because they said they're done with Shaw Brothers.
Yeah, they'll get more Shaw Brothers.
Probably at some point, but from what it looks like, they may be focusing on like Chuck Norris and stuff.
Yeah,
which is weird. I may get one of those. I don't know. I went on like a Chuck Norris binge when I was in like high school, and I just came to the conclusion after watching like 4 or 5 movies that I was like, these are trash.
Yeah, I haven't watched a Chuck Norris film other than Way of the Dragon since I was very, very young, and I just don't care for him. He's not my kind of guy.
Yeah, but at least I know that if we get a Blu-ray of this, I don't have to buy into the internet hype, and I just want to watch it.
No, I like to pick up every single release I can of old school kung fu films to get a release. I would definitely question picking this up if it did get a release. I really didn't like it.
Gotcha. So we will do we will run through these from the bottom to the top. See what we got here. In the bottom, in Dirty Ho, is Fist and Guts. Apparently it's trash. The next one up, meh, or haven't seen it. Fury in Shaolin Temple, which is meh. What is that? Treasure Hunters, again, that one is meh. The only one we have that is going to actually be haven't seen it is, what is that? Raiders of Buddhist something. Yeah,
Buddhist Kung Fu, or Buddhist Temple, I think it's known as well.
Yeah, and then meh, Drunken Monkey, which I guess thank you for telling me just never get it.
You know what? It could be argued. I think some people may argue that Treasure Hunters and Drunken Monkey should be in Sure Enough, but for now, I'm content with them where they are. Although I will watch Drunken Monkey again soon.
And what bums me out about that is when I was really tempted to buy it so many years ago, seeing it on like every store shelf I went to of my like 3 options I have in my town. I was like really high on Wu Jing. Yeah. Because like Fatal Contact, Legendary Assassin, and Shaolin.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Wu Jing is the current guy. And then I just kept seeing that and going, but this doesn't look very good.
Yeah, I will say it is better than Drunken Master 3.
Still haven't seen that. I probably.
That has Gordon Liu in it as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say I should get to that at some point, but I don't know if I should. We will
ignore it.
Go on up here to Shaw Nuff, and that is Disciples of the 36 Chamber and Shaolin Drunken Monk. Just good enough to be Shaw Nuff. Shawtacular, Legendary Weapons of China, Clan of the White Lotus, Return to the 36 Chamber, Dirty Ho, and Tiger on Beat. And then the very top, the very best, the absolute must-watch Gordon Liu films in Master Killer, and that is, of course, the 36 Chamber. Blank on my brain. 8 Diagram Pole Fighter, Heroes of the East, Martial Club, apparently Shaolin and Wu-Tang. Good to know. I'm gonna have to track that down. And of course, Kill Bill Volume 2. Do you, looking at this, see anything that maybe needs to go up or down?
I think there could be some questionable decisions. Right now, I'm happy where everything is. I think due to the subjectivity of like kung fu cinema in general, I think a lot of people could argue that like Dirty Ho should be top tier and Shaolin Wu-Tang should be shortacular. I think there's a lot of ones that can cross numerous lines at any moment. But I'm very happy with the way things are, and I would love to hear your opinions on Shaolin and Wu-Tang when you get to see it. And if you need a copy, I may know someone that has it. Is all I'm saying. I'm
definitely gonna have to consider watching that soon because you make it sound like it's really good.
It's well worth it. If you love old school kung fu, it's up there because it's got the best of both, right? It's got your Shaolin and it's got your sword play, so it's great.
Yep, I'm going to have to watch that soon. But this is our ranking of the Gordon Liu films, or at least a majority of Gordon Liu's films, the ones where he at least has a big enough presence for us to consider it. I'm going to get us out of here and we will close this thing down. All right, so Sean, tell us what you got going on.
Not a lot, really. I mean, I do a bi-weekly Kung Fu podcast, which is called Food for Thought. I do that with my best friend and wife. The aim of my podcast is to get them into the martial arts cinema genre. We're about 85 episodes deep, and I have not managed to win them over fully yet, sadly. When's this going to come out?
This will be next week.
Okay.
Tuesday or Wednesday.
So we will our last episode when this gets released will have been Crippled Avengers, which is going to be an interesting watch. And then I do another a podcast called Talking Swords, and that is with Flip Otaku, who you can find on YouTube. And basically it's the opposite of my other podcast. Food for Thought is me trying to get my wife and friend into Kung Fu cinema, and Talking Swords is Flip really trying to get me into Japanese cinema because I haven't seen enough of it.
Has there been an episode yet of Food for Thought? There's definitely been episodes where both of them hated it, and there's definitely been episodes where at least one of them liked it. Has there ever been an episode so far where both of them were like, this was awesome?
Do you know what? I genuinely don't think there has been. I mean, there's the obvious one. I think we all agreed that the first Kill Bill was great. And we did that early on. Oh, and I think we all liked Enter the Dragon, which was our first episode. But since then, it's been a rocky road. It's been up and down. I think I'm winning my wife over slowly but surely. She's a fan of Gordon Liu and a fan of few other Shaw Brothers films.
It doesn't help there that they are opposed there, where Devin likes Shaw Brothers and Cyrus prefers, I don't know about likes, but prefers Golden Harvest.
Yes, he gets very upset when he's told we're going to be doing a Shaw Brothers film. He is not happy about this week's episode. But hopefully I've got some interesting ones in the pipeline that may swing them over. I've been trying to delve into like Korean cinema. Cyrus wants to do like old school Japanese samurai film, like Seven Samurai or Throne of Blood or something. So hopefully we'll have a meeting of the minds at some point. But it's been a struggle getting there.
I'm gonna keep throwing it out there for the South Korean films, but I mean, if you want to step away from, I know you just did City of Violence, was the episode 2 weeks ago. If you want to keep going with Korea but get away from like the crime stuff, you got to go with the Rahan, or however you pronounce it. It was good.
Yeah, is that still on Netflix?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Gotta get to it quick. Get to it while it's still on Netflix.
Yeah, I do need to rewatch it anyway, even if I'm not doing it for the podcast, because that film is a good one. Done by the same guy that did City of Violence, right?
Probably he has the yeah, because he's the bad guy in this movie.
Yeah, same director, I think. I think I want to do that. I also want to do The Man from Nowhere. We had to postpone that, but it will be hopefully in the next few weeks. We'll do that one.
Yeah, that one I'm curious to see if Devin or Cyrus both like it or not. But you are also on you are Foo for Thought on Foo_400. I don't know if you're have all the underscore on Instagram. I feel like it's just Foo_Thought. On Instagram.
Foo_Thought on Instagram, and then Foo for Thought Pod on Twitter.
Yeah.
And YouTube channel coming soon.
Get to work on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll talk about it after I close this out. Yes, I am Martial Arts Film Freak on Facebook page, Martial Arts Film Freak on Instagram, Tristan_Glover on Twitter, and Martial Arts Film Freak on TikTok. Tell us, of course, all of your favorite Gordon Liu films and what should have been where. What are we totally wrong about? What makes us look like an asshole? And what do we just totally perfectly have the best thoughts about? Tell us all those things in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.